The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Good morning. It's Friday. Welcome to the ladies' room. Morris Media Live Studios.
Your girl KayB.
Hi, it's Brenda. Starting our weekend off.
Right.
As always, how was your week?
Week was long. It was long. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Enough said. I'll elaborate on mine. Mine was exhausting, long, unpredictable. I was like, where's all this coming from? It was one of those weeks where, I just kept trying to pull it together, and it's just like I was being attacked, and I'm not understanding why. Most giving, loving person I know is me.
Right. And your mind. I hit you with that real well. No.
That was okay. Because it is in my mind.
We know.
Some lady said, she said, she was calling me out of my name, and I said, well, I can accept that because I can be that.
Right.
So
real
I get
quick.
it. I get it. But I want to say it was interesting, but I did have an opportunity to purchase and read over half of our last guest book. From Compton to Congress,
right.
His Grace for My Race. And I thought it was extremely interesting. It was a real easy read. It's a really easy read.
Right.
But it is definitely on mark about Black people, yes, our community, the things that we go through. Mm-hmm. And this brother was a young man. And he was in Congress. Okay?
Powerful.
Very powerful. He was very young, like 33, 34.
Before we even heard of Barack.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Really.
Exactly. It was Walter Tucker, the third. And it was awesome. But I really wanted to kind of touch base on his wife, Robin.
Right.
She was absolutely just, if you talk about Stella, the epitome of a writer.
Yep.
It's her.
It's her.
She stood by this brother when the good and when the bad came, because the bad came hard and heavy and unexpected. And she was there as a strong Black woman. She showed us what are we supposed to do in time of crisis.
She is a perfect example. She's a beautiful lady. Perfect example.
Yeah, she stood up.
She did. She really did.
She stood up and she took care.
She stood by her man.
She stood by her. I kind of put her on the same level with Hillary, because even though all that stuff happened with Hillary, she still stood by Bill.
Right.
And I wanted to say to Pastor Tucker's wife, Robin, that that was just absolutely stellar moves that she made.
Keep being an example that we can look up to
for Black women to stand by a worthy Black man. Let's say worthy. A worthy Black man. Because he was worthy, and she did that. She stood by him, and she didn't take she was a soldier.
Right.
And I'm going down with this ship.
Right.
And I'm going to rise with this ship because we're coming back. And I like the fact that they did come back.
Yeah, he came for greatness too.
Yes, and
that should be mentioned.
Yes, and preparing. Yes. Oh my God, his legacy.
His legacy.
Grandfather, great grandfather.
Right.
I was dying off his mom. Okay.
Yeah.
I said, okay, she was rolling around Compton in a Rolls Royce. I was like, okay, but she sacrificed as well for his father, who was the mayor before him of Compton. And I want to say again that Mr. Tucker was the mayor of Compton. His father was the mayor of Compton, and his mother. She's a strong Black woman as well.
And an author too. She writes.
Yeah, she co-wrote this.
She has some books out.
Yeah. Martha Tucker, she co-wrote this with him.
Right.
But it was very interesting, and I continued to read.
I think you passed me. Okay.
Yeah, of course. I'm almost finished. But I wanted to say hats off to Robin.
Right.
She's a gracious, wonderful, beautiful woman, and I had the opportunity to actually meet her last week. Yeah. And I went into their facility, and I had the opportunity to study Mr. Tucker. Mm-hmm. On that visit, and he is sincere, and I love the fact that he owned up to what happened,
True man of God.
And that he totally is really trying to uplift the community.
Right.
And I think he has an empowerment summit.
That's coming up.
On the 8th, is it?
I believe so.
Okay, I believe he has a power summit coming up for men, young men, and we really have to get out and encourage that and push and just really help out with that because it's important. We want to talk about why these guys are the way that they are. A lot of it has to do with their childhood, their upbringing, and then a lot of it has to do with not having enough information.
And a lot of it has to do with us women as well.
Yeah,
I mean, the things that we allow and the things that we, you know what I'm saying, that plays into that too. So
okay,
we gotta, we gotta correct that with ourselves.
Yes, and our sons. We have to be diligent moms, and we have to, stand up and make them be stand up.
The man that we want them to, the men that we want to marry. You know what I mean?
You definitely. So we all have to take part in what we have to do. But I did want to say once again, my hat off to Robin Tucker, his mother Martha, and as well as Pastor Tucker as well.
The third.
They did good. And the Rise, they came back. That was the whole thing. He got indicted. He went to jail, but he came back with a vengeance. And what his real job, I believe, is for him to uplift the community, and give that word out and let people know what they can do and how you can do it. Because if you can fight through the Congress, you can go through the district attorney's office. And Johnny Cochran was his lawyer,
right?
So that was
left to him for OJ.
Well, OJ was a much bigger case.
That was more publicity. More,
it was bigger, and Johnny was a cool little dude.
Right.
When I read about him in this book, he just fits every thought that I had about him. He was a brother. He was educated, but he was cool. But he did start off taking his case. He started with him and put him in the proper direction so that he could move forward. But as the will of God was, he had to go to jail. But for Robin, who stuck through that and said, "You know what, baby, I got you.
Right.
We're gonna do this, and we're gonna make it." And then they're back. And so their little facility is really nice. I visit their church, and it was really, really, it's nice. It's quaint. It's personal.
Right.
It's not one of those big
that
giant
you get
churches
lost in. Nobody knows your name.
Yes,
and all that.
no. It's very personal, very warm, very loving environment. So I want to say my hat's off to that, and I'm going to have him back on the show once I complete the book. I'm almost finished, Kim, so you have to catch up, okay? Come on.
I will. This week. When I'm on the plane.
Okay, and then I had one other little book that I wanted to share that I also started reading was Women of the Bible that I thought was extremely interesting. I chose this book because it is talking about our heritage as women. And for them to be in a biblical time and make moves the way that they were making it, which had to be completely hard to do. Right. It's difficult now in 2018, so imagine.
It's changing.
It's changing. 19 women in Congress. New.
Right.
But I was really impressed with this book because it gave me a background about women and the creation of women and where we came from. And it's no color coordination going on here. It's just woman species. Okay. And these women were very courageous.
Okay.
I was trying to choose, which one am I?
And which one are you?
I'm not there yet. I'm going to reread. I'm going to keep reading. I read the whole book, but I have to read it again because I saw myself in a couple of them. But I want to say the women of the Bible were fantastic. They were just absolutely on point.
In other words, they had a voice.
They made themselves have a voice. The ones that took the initiative, the go-getters. I mean, it was some dirty play going on back up in there, okay?
Oh, really?
I mean, yes, the Leah Rachel story, that was really deep. And they said that, I want to say this real quick about the Leah and Rachel story because they were sisters, and one of the brothers, he was working 7 years to get Rachel. But then in the 7 years,
gave him a Leah.
Yeah, he had Leah, but Leah gave him children, and she loved him. And nowhere in it does it say Rachel loved him. It said that Rachel stole her father's treasures and then put them on Jacob. Okay, that's a man that worked 14 years to get her. So I don't think she loved her. She was more like the material girl. But what it is, it just lets us know that
we ain't changed. We haven't changed.
That was real.
Take your time.
Excuse me. It let me know that the game is still strong.
Okay.
And the ladies that have the babies by the rappers and stuff, they were doing it in here.
Wow. Now, you had mentioned that the pastor is going to have an empowerment summit. Right. We are too, for the ladies.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Coming
up February, right?
Yes, February. Right. We will be having a summit for women. The encouragement to empower
Uplift.
To uplift. Let's get some vision boards, some project boards going. Let's see where we are at it, because I do believe that we have to become more independent.
We do, especially in this new year coming up, 2019.
More independent.
We can't go into the 2019 the same. We got to.
No, we got more independent. Every black woman, every woman, period. You have to become more independent. Mm-hmm. You have to be self-sufficient, and you have to know who you are, what you after, where you're going, and if we can help you get there, that's our job.
That's our job.
So our summit is coming live
in February.
February 2/20.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to really be awesome, and we'll talk about it. The more weeks to come up, we'll discuss more on that, location, time, and all that, ticket prices.
Yeah, that's awesome. Mm-hmm.
But we do have a lot of inquiries. So
that's the whole one of the reasons is because we've had so many people hit us and ask us about when are we going to do this. So now it's just a matter we have to do it.
Right.
We're going to go to a commercial break. And we'll be back with a special guest today. Our Lady of the Week will be live with us. So that's awesome.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're back at the Ladies Room, Morris Media Live. I'm Brenda.
It's your girl, KayB.
And we have our special guest in the house today that we want to acknowledge.
We do. Our special guest, she's a life lover, proud mama, longtime editor, analog girl in a digital world, 99.9% hype free. And this lady of the week is Sheena Lester.
Hi, Sheena.
Our very own.
She's our very own Sheena. She plays a pivotal role here at the studio. But not only that, it's just the fact that her love for her people is just unbelievable. I've had the opportunity to have just many conversations with you, and they all have been inspiring and uplifting.
True.
Thank you.
They really are. And you really are. You set the tone for who we should be. And I love your relationship with the universe.
Aww.
She has a relationship
with the universe.
Yeah, and our ancestors.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Now I wanted to touch on, because I know you began your foray into journalism right after college.
No, right after high school.
Oh, right after high school.
Mm-hmm.
Please do tell.
Yeah, my dad's best friend was a gentleman by the name of Ken Thomas, who had just bought the LA Sentinel from Ruth Washington, who co-founded the paper with her husband years ago. So my dad helped Ken run the paper. I graduated from high school, and I was going to LA Trade Tech, and I was just basically kind of hanging out at the Sentinel, just sort of hanging out. And then I started to help them proofread, and just sort of started, I guess just sort of taking part in the production process.
Wow.
And it was fun, and the rest is history. I was at the Sentinel for about 10 years.
Oh, my God.
And that basically was my college. I worked my way up from the circulation department to eventually becoming an editor of a couple of sections.
Oh, that's awesome.
Here I am thinking after college, but after high school.
Okay, that's even better. Yeah. And that led you to be the managing editor of blackamericaweb.com.
Yeah, eventually.
Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Sure. Well, after the Sentinel, I got hired at Larry Flint Publications to run Rap Pages magazine.
Did you say Larry Flint?
Larry Flint. How was that?
Okay. What was that about?
That was fantastic.
Okay.
Because Larry Flint, of course, is a champion of free speech.
Right.
And Rap Pages was a hip-hop magazine.
Yes,
and, of course, free speech is...
right.
Gotta have that for
for
good hip hop. So no, that was
real
fantastic.
hip hop.
Yeah, and so that sort of magazines was sort of what I did. I did Rap Pages, and then I went on to Vibe, and then XXL, and then from there I went to blackamericaweb.com, which is fantastic because it's Tom Joyner.
Okay.
Right.
And he has a worldwide reach. And also a worldwide, love for our folk. He's fantastic.
Oh, right. I really want to, maybe we can get hooked up to go to one of those cruises. The Tom Joyner cruise.
Did you ever go on the cruise?
Okay.
Me and my best friend, Poetess, we went on one, and it was fantastic.
Okay.
And actually, the thing that they did, it was, I think, a week-long cruise. And for one of the days... they kind of had an island. We had an island to ourselves to do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Oh, really?
And one of the things they did, which I will never forget, and was the most fun I've ever had in my life, they had a light skin versus dark skin water fight.
Did they?
Oh, okay.
And I know it sounds crazy.
It does.
Spike Lee.
It does. Right.
But of course, it was all black folks, and we had to divide it into two teams, and it was so fun. Oh my God!
Who
it was
won?
just
Who won?
Love and fun. Everybody won. Screaming and laughing. Oh my God! It was the most fun I've ever had in my life. So yes, the Tom Joyner cruise. Do it if you can. It's fantastic.
Did you say a light skin versus black skin?
Girl, light skin versus dark skin. I know everyone was like, "What?" But then it was like, okay, it's us. We need two teams. It was so fun. Oh my God, it was fantastic. They had these huge water blast guns and tubs of water where you go in and you just keep filling them up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it was the most fun I've ever had in my life.
Okay,
to this day.
That's awesome. You remind me of Spike Lee. People didn't really understand what he was saying in school days, but that it's a reality. The black skin, light skin situation. It is. I mean, I've seen it played out in my family. By words and things that people have said, but to take it to the level where you can be entertained by it, that's beautiful.
That's turning it around.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely.
it was because it was super unexpected. It was my first time being on the cruise, but a lot of folks, it was that was their standard vacation. There were lots of repeat.
No, I love it.
So it was kind of like, but it was all in love. It was absolutely a kick in the butt to the idea of colorism.
Right.
We can turn it around, and that's the same thing with the word.
Have fun with it.
Yes, and that's the same thing with the word nigger. Everybody says don't use nigger, don't say this and that, but in a lot of black communities, it is a term of endearment. It is nigger. It is something that you can flip and turn it, and where it's not negative, but. There are a lot of people that still don't use it at all.
Just don't say nigger.
Exactly. But also, nobody spins something into something beautiful the way we do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's everything.
We can spin air into gold.
So. Speak on it, Sheena.
Ooh, let me start spinning that right now.
So, can you give us a little more information about Respect Magazine?
Oh yeah. Respect Magazine is a publication that was created years ago by a gentleman by the name of Jonathan Reingold, who was a co-founder of XXL Magazine.
Okay.
Jonathan took, after he left XXL, he created this publication which concentrated really on the imagery of hip-hop, photos. So I had I had seen the magazine, and of course it's no longer in print, but they've got some beautiful stories and images online. I was just sort of a consumer, checking it out occasionally. And then this year is the 20-year anniversary of a photo shoot that I co-produced when I was at XXL, Great Day in Hip Hop, where we got Gordon Parks to photograph the a generation of hip hop stars, and on the same spot where Art Kane had photographed the jazz legends. So this year is the 20-year anniversary of that shoot, and so I wrote about the lead up to it for Respect Mag.
Oh, okay.
And so that story is at respect-mag.com. It's called The Game Changer. It's really something I'm very proud of, because it took me a while to sort of talk about and open up about, because although it was a beautiful day, and the sister who co-produced it, Leslie Pitts, is no longer with us. It was a great day, but there was some resistance. There was an editor from another magazine that threatened the publicist and told them any of their rappers who showed up and posed for Gordon Parks would no longer be featured in her magazine again.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So it wasn't all love,
Right. So did everybody show up?
Of course. Ain't nobody scared.
Right.
And also, what black person is not going to pose for Gordon Parks?
Okay,
Right.
Exactly. But here the thing is that you are just a wealth of information about our original hip-hop.
Oh.
Now, where do you feel that it's gone today? Because I'm feeling something different.
It's more pop.
Well,
I don't even know if it's pop.
Well, I think it's more pop in the sense that it's more popular, sort of generationally. But I also feel like, when I was lucky enough to helm these various publications, we characterized hip-hop as black youth culture, urban youth culture. So I feel like in that way, I'm 51 years old. I can't really dictate what hip-hop is anymore, because I'm no longer youthful. You know what I mean? I feel like it's my job to, observe and appreciate, because it's in a way it's no longer ours. It'd be arrogant for us to be like, and have some say. If it's youth culture, we ain't really kids anymore.
True.
Okay.
So we kind of give it to them. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's one perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just one perspective. Because the other flip side of that to me is
that's ours, and we have to maintain the standards and blah blah blah. Yeah.
The other side of that to me is the fact that it was developed and shared. And if we are getting away from that, I think that needs to be acknowledged as well. If we're getting away from the original hip hop, what it really meant, that culture, that urban life, I don't think it's the same. And I don't think that the youth, I don't think that they have the right to just take it, run with something that someone else has already built and just tear it down, basically.
But things are steady changing.
No.
Change is coming.
We would change. I'm with change. Right. If change is inevitable, if you're not changing something,
just
it's wrong.
Just keep the integrity intact.
That's all I'm talking about. Is talk about where we came from. Maybe it needs to be a summit to the new hip hoppers so they can get educated on where this really came from and how to respect it.
Well, but I think that and I don't disagree with you at all.
Okay, I get it.
But I think that we're assuming that they don't know the history. We're assuming that they don't respect it.
Okay.
When we could assume that because we were so diligent in making sure they knew what the rules were, and they had integrity, that they have taken what they know and it's inspired them to create something new and fresh the way they want to.
Okay, and that's a good perspective
and here's the thing: I'm lazy. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, kids, it's y'all's. Work with it. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing.
I get it.
But no, I hear you, because it's.
But
how can you not? I know exactly. I know exactly what you mean.
Because I do want to comment on what you said. Okay, you said that. Okay, they're taking it, and they do. I'm assuming that they don't know it. If you do know it, act like you know it. Respect it. Show me something. I don't want to see a man in a dress rapping. I just don't. That's just my personal preference. Not that it's right or wrong. I just don't want to see it. I don't want to see a whole bunch of gayism in hip hop, because our culture didn't come from that in my eyes. Maybe I could be blind.
What you're saying? There should be rules.
Man, I could be blind.
But at the same time, look at the day and age we live in. I don't want to see a male teacher teaching my child and he has on a dress. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
I get,
but it's just
I know we are
a world that we live
in. It's a world that we've accepted.
Right.
It's like everything else.
Well,
we have accepted it. Not saying that it's right or wrong, but we have accepted. We have not stood up and said, you know what? Let's have that summit. Let's see if they really do know.
Because when one generation tolerates, the next generation embraces.
I just think that we're so passive and everything is okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. If you want to say hip hop, then be hip hop. Be real. Be what it is. Not that they're not real in their own aspect and what they see and what they view. I'm not saying they're not.
Okay, I have one question. Mm-hmm. Gangstar, was he hip hop? Gangstar.
You mean Guru?
Guru
and Premier?
Thank you. Was he hip hop?
He was in the time.
He was gay.
Okay. But he was in the time, but we didn't know he was gay.
Right.
We didn't know it wasn't flamboyant. He didn't come out with fingernail polish on, lipstick, a dress, and saying, I want to be who I am and the freedom of this and that.
Same
Where's
thing
the rules?
That's true.
Well, as someone who has a gay son and a bisexual son, twins, one of whom occasionally does drag and is good at it, hip-hop is in the hands of whoever wants to do it and speak their truth.
Right.
And there were actually quite a few guys and girls in hip hop who were and are gay.
Yeah, exactly.
And and again, it's their truth. It's not for us.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It doesn't matter if you're gay. If that's your life choice. If that's what you choose to do. But I'm just a little opposed to it being so widespread and just forced on everybody else. To me, it's forced. It's not. It's a way. Life is changing. Things are changing, and things have to be accepted. But I'm not saying that it's right or wrong personally. But I don't want my son listening to, even though he's a good one and I like him, Young Thug, and you out there sucking on another man's penis. I just don't think that that's appropriate. I don't think it's appropriate.
Well,
I just don't think it's appropriate. I'm not saying it's right or wrong or judging the gay character. I'm just saying for our national, for international, for everybody. Everybody has their own choice to do what they want. But I don't want it to be pushed down. Every TV program I look at, Empire, this one, is everything. You're just pushing that down our throats. That's how I feel. It's not a personal choice. Your personal choice is your personal choice. But just for it to be just stuff down my throat, that's how I feel. I feel like it's just pushed on me. Everywhere you look, every program, everything has to consist of that.
Turn your radio off, Brenda.
No, I'm saying in television, everything. It's everywhere you go. You have small boys. If you decide that you want to be gay when you turn 15, 16, and 17, 18, 19, and 20, that's fine. But for a 6-year-old to be walking by and the TV's on and two men are kissing, what type of influence? Is that influence a choice?
Well, here's the thing.
I have gay people in my family, so I love, I'm not knocking that perspective of being gay, but I'm saying that's your choice, but keep it to yourself. Why do we have to be, just rush with it everywhere you look? Because it's a reality? Because it's real?
Yeah, because it's real.
I understand.
Like the same way that white people had to deal with the reality of desegregation and black people, coming into their jobs and living on their streets, and
which cost us dearly, and which cost us dearly, dearly. Us integrating with them, it cost the black community. It cost us dearly. We lost out on our own offices. Before the integration, we had our own gas stations, our own hotels, our own everything. And then once we integrated and took our money to them, we're still running to the mall, taking our money to them. They've merged it and made it where they're still coming up off of our dollars, but they can't respect us as black people.
But
don't make it right.
But that's choice. I don't know that homosexuality is choice.
Well, that's what they're saying now, is that you could be born with it, or and that could be true too. But my only thing about that, and I'm going to stick to what I'm saying, is that I feel that it is being completely forced down our throats. Constantly, everywhere, every day, every program. That shouldn't be. If that's your personal choice, that's your personal private life. Do it. But why do I have to watch a program and then watch two men or two women getting it on? I might as well go get porn. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that personally. That's just me. That's just me. Nothing against anybody else or no right or wrong. Because if one of my children, if they were gay, then I'd embrace it, have to accept it because I have no other choice. But what I'm saying is that I just feel that it's forced on me. It's forced for me to watch it. I turn the channel and I turn to another channel. It's right there. Everything I love is in it. From Game of Thrones, Black Sails, Vikings, everything I look at, it is right there where they're just saying, okay, in your face, here.
But that's why it's so important to build your own content. That's what I've been telling you.
Excuse me?
Build your own content. We can do our own shows.
No, yeah, right. I get that part. That's what we're working on it. But I'm just saying how we still have to measure what is actually happening to what we do. You know what I mean? Even if you build your show, every show is, when you build one, is to be better than the show that's out there. And if people are receptive, you have millions and millions of viewers watching it, you still have to comply with what it is. I'm just saying, I feel that it's just forced. No right or wrong. Nobody is, there's, no judgment, just my own thoughts on that. And I think hip-hop needs to really, even though it is about transforming, becoming,
elevating,
all that. But come on, hip hop started and it was real. It was for black people to really have a voice. I'm not hearing that today. I'm hearing, how much gold you got, this be this and this that.
Well, the same way that hip hop had its roots in sort of underground expression, I think that there is a generation of kids who are not, on the pop track, who are, expressing their realities, and they're not necessarily looking for any kind of fame. It's about the art for them. It's about the expression for them. The same way that it was for the originators.
Right. Well, I don't know. The originators, I think it was art, but it was about, I need to, generate this capital because I need to change my life. They might not have been up on their paperwork as far as getting the money.
You said the original ones?
Yes. It was about,
I think it was more so getting the information out there.
No, they talked about everything.
They were more conscious. They were talking about what was going on.
Yes, about all that. That's what I'm talking about. I don't need you to tell me about your personal life. I need you to tell me how can you help the community.
Your name and where you calling from?
This is Pete.
Hi, Pete.
How you guys doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing fine. Hey, I would like to just comment on the issue about the gay, and I kind of agree with Brenda because if you look at what's going on right now with Kevin Hart with the Oscars, and just because he said something 8 years ago, they want to penalize him for that. And if there's going to be a right and wrong or something, there shouldn't be any compromising, because now they're going back 8 years and talking about what he said about the gay community, and like Brenda said, they're forcing it on us, and not only that is that there's a double standard. They can believe in what they want to believe in, but when somebody else believes differently, they oppose to it and they think that person is a bad person. But we got to understand that everybody has their own rights, but we don't force rights on people. So, I just want to comment on that and just let people know.
Okay, well, I really appreciate the call. Thank you, caller, because I'm in agreement with that. And as far as Kevin Hart is concerned, I mean, anytime any black man makes moves or become bigger or get more, they're always under attack, and that's okay. The woman Me Too movement, the gay, they come out in strong force with attacking because someone is not saying that what you're doing is okay. It's not. That's not fair. Do you? But don't make it be about everybody else. You want the same rights? Were you born with these rights? Like you said, they may be born this way, but, who knows? I think it's a choice personally, but I'm not that deep in it. I do have family members that are gay, but I do believe it is a choice that we make. It's a choice. Because if you take it back, I talked about the ladies in the Bible, you take it back biblically, I mean, is that right or is the Bible wrong? But now it's so strong that these people have such a great voice that they can override everything. There's no limit. There's no guidance. There's no guidelines to what it is.
It's like the rules are for them.
The rules now, no, they're making the rules, and that's okay. If you fight for what you believe in, die for what you believe in. I prefer you do that than die for nothing. But what I'm just saying, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that I don't want to be forced to have to indulge and take it all the time. I turn on a show and I have to see two men kissing. I mean, my grandson is 6 years old, could walk in my room at any time and catch that view. Or don't play it while he's there. Now I can't. I have to be careful about what I watch around him, which I do. Mm-hmm. But it is everywhere. My granddaughter, a young girl walked up to her, and she's 9, walked up and asked her, that she really like her, could she be her girlfriend, her real girlfriend? Not like a girlfriend, a 9-year-old. But that's from visual. That's from whatever you're around. Mm-hmm. That's from now. It's just, and I don't know. I'm not saying it's wrong, Sheena. I'm not saying that. You have people that are your children are very close and you love them dearly, will die for them. So I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that I just don't feel that it should be forced upon everybody all the time. They have rights. They're living it. They're doing it. Okay, that's fine. We all need to be fighting for something. And just like they're fighting for those rights to be who they are, let's fight for the rights of just human race, period. Why can't we all be on the Capitol like they can be, come together for what's happening in our communities, come together for betterment of this and that, utilize it. I'm just saying. That's just how I feel. I just feel that we have been inundated with it and it's no stopping it.
It's in all forms of entertainment, though. Not just hip-hop, not just music.
It's everywhere.
All forms of entertainment.
All forms, everywhere.
Even football.
Just on the jobs, everywhere. It's okay. Right. I'm saying be who you are, if that's who you are. But I don't think that we have to be forced to take that in. And I feel we are being forced. I really do. I feel that I'm being forced.
Well, I will say that in response to your concerns about your grandchildren being exposed to two people of the same gender kissing, you could use those moments as opportunities to teach your son that any love is good love, and that there are people out there who are gay, and that they deserve respect, they deserve rights, and that, frankly, what they do is of no threat to heterosexual people. So, but again, think what you think, as will I.
No, they're human. It's human. We have human rights. We all have human rights. But my whole thing is, let's exercise the complete human rights for everything. We're so forceful and powerful in our beliefs and what we think is right. Then utilize it. I'm not saying not to. I'm just saying that it just bothers me a little bit. I mean, I just got some concerns. And as far as my grandson is concerned, definitely, I'm going to sit down and have that conversation. I have no choice but to. And my granddaughter. I have to talk to my granddaughter about another young 9-year-old talking about girl. She went and told the teacher. I mean, that's the only thing she could think to do was, what is that? Mm-hmm. But just to be approached already at 9 years old about this situation that's just... I don't know. I think that's a bit much. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I think you do have that right to love who you want to love, to be who you want to be. I'm open-minded enough to know that part of it. But now for me to have to tolerate and look and watch and deal with it constantly every time I turn on the radio or I turn on the television, I don't turn on the TV anymore. Mm. I don't. But even in the things that I do choose to watch, it's still in there.
It's there.
So it's just all over the place, and it's okay. No disrespect to anybody that is gay, because it's beautiful people. Mm-hmm. Everybody is beautiful, and we all do have human rights.
We do. Everybody.
But I do think it's a choice that's something that's your personal, private life. I'm not telling you to hide you don't have to walk down the street and hold hands if that's what you want to do. I just know that, okay, we all have to be considerate of each other. I'm not going to walk up to a gay couple and, oh, you're gay, and start throwing accusations and making facial expressions and stuff. No, I'm not going to do that because I have consideration for others. And I want them to have that same consideration.
Right.
I'm not going to tongue my dude down. I'm not going to tongue my dude down in public. I'm not going to. I'm not going to tongue him down in public. I'm not going to.
Please don't.
No, I'm just saying. So I'm saying that that's your personal stuff. Do it. Just do it personally. Everybody don't have to see it.
Everybody don't think like that, especially younger people.
No, it's fine.
They want you to see them kiss and all that.
I mean, yeah.
You know
what I mean? I've been young too.
Right.
But I still know the rules. Is that's a personal, private situation, and I'm going to do that in the privacy of where I'm at. But no disrespect to anybody that is gay. I love Lamont Wheat. He was a guest on our show. Right. I dig him.
Yeah, I went and hung out with them.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I did
Had
know.
a good time.
But I'm just saying that, but while we were hanging out, we wasn't hugging, kissing, and all, they was just being people.
They did when I was hanging out with
Well,
them.
I didn't see that, so I can't confirm that. But I know when I was with them, I didn't see it.
Yeah, they were hugged up, booed up, all that.
Well, I didn't see it, so.
Yeah.
But it's
But
cool.
beautiful person, doesn't take anything away from him or
who
his
you
husband
are.
or
No, it
whatever.
doesn't.
No.
But I just think that there should be consideration to others as well. That's all.
Okay.
But back to the hip hop situation. I think hip hop has changed
It has.
drastically.
It has.
Drastically. When I started first listening to this, and I think I started off in my most memorable moments might have been in 1992.
When you started listening to hip hop,
I think it might have been.
it had to be before then.
I mean, it was before then, but I said my most memorable moment.
Oh, okay.
My most memorable moment was in 92.
Mine was in 89, because that's when I was on the scene.
And who was the artist?
Me.
Oh, let's get a picture of that. Pull that up, please. No.
CK Swan. No, just
Oh, she said
no,
CK.
but shut up.
And had a name.
No,
Oh my
but
God.
you know who really was influential to me? It was KRS-One.
Okay. Yeah, he was always about that knowledge.
Run DMC.
They were wild.
Schoolie D.
I don't know who that is. Okay. Who else?
No, it was so many of them. But I'm just saying.
I mean, I liked Big Daddy Kane.
He was gonna be
Kool Moe D, Curtis
Cool J,
Blow.
of course.
I went to the Forum and I saw Curtis Blow perform, and he was on the stage with like Confunction and Barcades, and so he got booed off real bad.
Oh.
Yes, he did, Curtis Blow. But I mean, I don't know. I just thought that it meant something to us as Black people, hip hop. And I see the transformation of it to today, where I see that it is the voice. But what is the voice saying?
Okay, let's take it from this perspective. Like when KRS-One was out, whatever, conscious rapper, whatever, and then DJ Quick came out. Mm-hmm. Then you see the change when DJ Quick came out. It was a little different. He wasn't talking about, expanding your mind or whatever. He was talking about drinking, girls, black pussy, all that.
Right. I get it.
So it was a change. It was a shift, right?
It was a form of a shift. Where are you going?
Nowhere.
Where you going? Leave it here. Sorry.
So I mean, it's changing. It's a culture. It's gonna change.
Everything is changing, evolving.
Right.
And I don't have a problem with the evolution.
Right.
Because we all must change individually, personally. We have to develop and change and grow and become. I'm not saying that that's
I'm just
not.
saying.
And it does change. There is a transformation. But yeah, DJ Quick was on some other stuff.
And Planet Rock, remember Planet Rock?
Yeah, kind of Planet Rock. But I'm just saying, I just respected hip hop a lot more back in the day, because I'm like one of the oldest hip hop fans there is. I love the music. I love the beats.
Me too.
I love the fact that they have that voice. I love the fact that it's helping them feed their families and change their lives and get into a different mindset. I respect that.
Right. Not everybody needs a platform.
I respect that.
You know, you have a lot of clowns right now rapping, about
saying.
nonsense. I get it. I get
That's
it.
all I'm saying. Hip hop was strong. It was hard. It was real. It was who was it? With Professor Griff.
Public Enemy.
Yeah, Public Enemy. I mean, they were coming out with, like, look, check yourself.
Right,
What's really
right.
going on? Do we own these neighborhoods
Right.
that we are claiming? No, we don't. So I thought the message was stronger, and it was more beneficial for us to grow, to become. I mean, we still didn't do what we should have done. We didn't do what we should have did after King.
Right.
We didn't do what we should have did after Malcolm X. We didn't do what we should have did after Marcus Garvey, W.E. Du Bois. I mean, it goes on and on.
Right.
Something is instilled in us, like I was trying
There's
to...
a system in place.
I know it
what
is,
mean?
but I'm saying, how do we break that? That was my question to the pastor last week was, okay, all this is fine and dandy, but why are we still with the same mindset? Where we are not developing as a whole the way we should, period, as a family, community, all that.
But what I don't get is, like they said, Beyonce and Jay-Z are, so rich. Why not buy their own record companies? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we still?
I think that's what they've done. I don't think that. Who
Their
do you
own
think?
network.
They're making strides. From Tidal.
A lot of people have made strides, but nobody has,
No, I'm on your team with that.
Right.
But here's the thing: with her Lemonade album, they told her that it wasn't a good album. That her record company said that they couldn't work it because it wasn't good. They didn't think that it was going to be
Too black.
all this and that. But what happened was that she went and recorded it herself on her own without them. And whether they get paid from it or not, I'm not sure what her contract is. But she did step out and do that, and it was one of her best albums. So I think they're taking strides. And if we do listen to Jay, he's educating us right now, if we listen to him. If you listen to his music, the things that he is saying, he said, hey, I'm trying to give you the game for $9.99. Come on.
Right.
He said, I bought this picture for $2 million. Now it's worth $8 million.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you guys,
Right.
I was Dumbo because I didn't buy the property that I should have when I should have. And now I feel
I can relate to
ridiculous.
that.
So I'm just saying that he does educate and he does try to kick out knowledge as far as I'm concerned. He's one of my favorite. I love him. And I love what him and B is doing. Yes.
Okay.
I dig him all the way. And I'm a writer for that because she was a strong black woman who said, look, I don't want to lose my marriage, so we're going to have to figure this out. And she made him realize that he had issues and problems, and he came back with, okay, I understand my girl is right.
Right, we're better
and I
as
have
a
to
team.
do this.
Right.
And so just the teamwork right there alone.
Now, that's a powerful team.
Okay.
Now, Cardi B and Offset, I don't know, because they call it quits.
Well, Carly is from a different generation, too.
Right. And
You know,
so
she
Offset,
is.
he's a young black male rapper. He's living that lifestyle.
Wilding out. What is the lifestyle? Why is it so accustomed? It's okay for the rappers. We just accept
Who
that
said it was
because
okay?
No.
No.
But this is what I'm saying. We accept. I've heard this more than once. People say he's a rapper. Mm-hmm. So what do you expect is going to happen? Expect for him to be a man up. You're a rapper who got married and had a baby.
Right.
And if you really didn't want that, then you shouldn't have done
signed
that.
up for it.
Period.
But I'm not
Here's
even
that's the
gonna say it.
education. You can say it. I mean, same thing. I signed up from stuff I didn't sign up for.
Right. That's what I was
that's
gonna
why
say.
That's why I can relate to it.
Right. And that's why I can relate
to
to her. Walk away from the bullshit while you can.
Exactly.
You know
I'm
what
with her
saying?
too. Run.
Yeah, you don't need to be out there fighting and all
No,
that.
run.
Yeah.
Run. I don't go back.
Right.
You know,
it's
honestly.
not always in the best interest of the family to just stay. But 9 times out of 10 it is, but not all the time.
It just depends on where you're coming from. And I mean, as you know, an older woman for myself, I'm saying run. And don't look back.
It depends on your
And find out who you are.
circumstances. And
She
that's a lot
got
of things,
she got change.
Right.
And she can take care of her child, and she can take
Yeah.
care of herself, and she's not a bad looking girl. I mean, we could get some etiquette classes popping off, but basically they love her for who she is
Right.
and how she represents herself, which, that's another topic. But I'm going to say this.
Wow.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. Run. Don't go back, because if the brother don't respect you, he's never going to respect you. And the
He
more,
may later on in life, but let him catch up to you, man.
later on in life, I don't know. I think the more we let the brothers get away with stuff, the more they do.
The worse they get.
And the
That's
worse they
true.
become. That's my experience. Not that that's the only one, and not that I'm completely right, because everybody have a different experience and a different situation with
With their spouse.
with their situation. But for me and personally, run, baby girl. You got a lot going on for yourself. Run, because it's only. The norm is that it will get worse before it get better.
Before it gets better.
And if he got a young rapper with money and girls coming everywhere, I think I heard some girl on the radio saying, "I'm so sorry," and this and that. And how can you be sorry after you slept with her dude? You should have been questioning him before. You still with Carly? You think this? No, this is not cool. There's no girl code. But we got a code for everything else, but we don't have a code to respect each other. But there's a code. We can fight for everything, but we can't fight for just natural respect for each other, girl code. We don't do it. We don't. We disrespect each other in a heartbeat. Instantly. You know that dude is married and got a girl. And the whole world know he's married. We've been hearing about them for months and months and months. So there's no girl that you slept with him. Now you're sorry. No, you're not.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't there.
I'm just saying. I don't feel. When somebody show you who they are, you need to believe them.
Need to believe them
The first
That's
time.
True.
And that's with your spouse. Same thing with me. I've been in a relationship for 40 years. Mm-hmm. And I could have made other decisions that could have helped me. But I'm thinking probably, let's say, old school. I have a family. I have this. I have that. And a lot of selfish motives. I stay just because of my own selfish motives. You know what I'm saying? Honestly.
I am so sorry. I'm not laughing.
It's okay. I don't care. It's okay. I mean, your condition, you got to take it. So whatever it is, got to come. I got to take it. It's okay. I'm good with that. I can handle it, you know.
Gosh.
But
You're on one this morning. I mean,
sorry. That's horrible. But okay. So, Sheena, you have anything else you want to say? Because you were just super quiet.
regarding hip hop,
With the
please.
shutdown.
I'm just listening. Even when it comes to hip hop, again, I feel like hip hop is urban youth culture. I'm just listening because I'm no longer urban
A
youth.
Right.
I get that part.
Learning. So
I get that
I'm
part.
good. Yeah, no, I'm just
But it's history. It's our history. We make the history so that people can look back on what was established. Everything that you did, all this stuff. Nobody would even know that you did all this, Sheena. This is like history.
Right. Because I
This is
stumbled
history.
on it was reading an article by Jonathan, and I was like, he was just giving homage to you, paying homage to you, and he was like, Sheena Lester. I was like, Sheena Lester, that's our Sheena, So I started reading the article, and I was very impressed. I was like, I didn't even know she did all that. So.
Nobody would know all this.
Right.
And all this work that you've done. I mean, this is like unbelievable.
Well, thank you.
And
It's
you should
about the
create
work, though.
But I know it is.
But you're so quiet and humble.
But I'm
we
thinking
wouldn't have known.
that it should be about a summit to pull the older hip hoppers together with the younger ones, and maybe they can share and have a common discussion, and maybe we can get into the minds of the young youth to see exactly what are you thinking. Do you really
Right.
know this history? Because as old as I am, and I think I'm a oldest hip hop fan, love it. Mm-hmm. I love it because of the voice. But there are things I didn't know.
Well, I think that some of the existing hip hop media have been doing their sort of conventions. I think Complex does their convention every year. I don't know if Vibe still does a conference, but I think that there are different ways that hip hop media outlets are engaging their young audience, I guess, and sort of connecting them with older generation. I know there's.
Well, it's really touching me because I think that it's something that I'm going to look into to see, because I'm real passionate about it, and I just really would like to see. I'm going to contact Complex. I'm going to contact these people and see when the next summit is, because I would definitely like to be present just to see which young hip hoppers show up, which older ones show up, and what is the lesson there, because there's a lesson in everything that we do and everywhere we go. But I think because you have such a rich history and understanding of it, that might be something that you could really do. You could pull it off because you have the connections, you have the know-how.
Right.
I mean, but
you have the history, a rich
history. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's me being the older lady right now.
She's real naggy right now, so everything's nagging her.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that I just don't. I mean, how could you learn about? But it's simple, because how can we have all these great people in history and we still run around here and act the same way,
right?
And we still don't have a greater love for each other the way we should as African American people. Period. And then why do we have, so I guess I could open up my mind and think outside the box and understand that change is coming.
I'm not saying accept it. I'm just saying,
we have accepted it. We don't fight for anything. What do we fight for? We're not fighting as a black community. What are we fighting for? We don't even know what's going on in our community.
Right.
These people are regentrification, taking over this whole area where we are. And then, I'm a real estate agent. I knocked on doors, and I got the Schaefer's, Yamamoto, and Chan over in Ladera. So we don't even know that right up under our nose that they're happening. They're taking over, and they want what they want.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we don't have enough knowledge to stand up and fight for it. No, this is not yours. This is our neighborhood.
You know what? We do have the knowledge, and knowledge is out there. We're just so preoccupied. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Let's leave here and go to a couple high schools and just interview a couple children and see what they know.
Let's do that.
Okay, we need to really do that and see what
set
they
up
know.
A date. Let's do it for
because
real.
I don't think that our people are being informed. Our children are miseducated. I mean, it's just a whole lot.
That's that system, though.
I know,
but you do have a lot of parents that go behind the scenes and try to put everything in perspective.
They deindustrialized our schools.
We know that,
so that they can take away the jobs, that's common jobs and all that.
But
right up under our nose, they did it. And it's done.
Mm-hmm.
So now, I mean, when I was in high school, people were able to become welders. They were able to become plumbers.
Cooks,
they were able to become nurses,
culinary.
all kind of stuff. Yeah. And now all that stuff is out. So I understand the big plan. But the bigger plan is, what are we doing about it? What are we doing about it?
Well, as we learned last week, there's a lot of groups out there, like 100 Black Men in Long Beach. There are groups set in place, too.
Yeah, it's one
help
child
it.
at a time,
But,
one step at a time. I understand that.
We can't do everybody
But
because
we've been
everybody's not
taking
going
these
to
steps
get
for a
it.
long time. Nobody's getting it, okay? Look at our community.
Some are getting it.
Go look at our
Stop.
community. We can walk right down Crenshaw, and we got a whole group of black men sitting in the park all day.
And then the other half is at work. So what are you talking about?
The other half? Really?
Yeah.
At work?
At work.
Okay, well, these brothers right here need to be at work. They need to be doing something constructive. Even if you can't work, at least group up and talk about your history and do something.
Sure, put a package together. Let's go hand it out.
Okay, well, we can do that because something has to be done because I am a little just burnt out on our mentality.
Well, all I know is it's about to be 2019. Ladies, the shift power is changing from male to female. It's our time right now. So
yeah,
we got to level up. We got to boss up for real.
We have to boss up, level up, all that. I get
Right.
that. I get that. I'm with it. I understand. I'm about that life.
Right. And we are going to be about that life.
No,
Seriously,
I'm not
2019, we ain't playing.
And the women, we have 19.
We're going to have that Woman Empowerment Summit
coming. And we have
networking.
Yes, and we have the new 19 women in Congress. So we hope that makes a difference.
I got an online boutique, you guys. www.daintybutterflies8.com. Please shop. Please support.
So
Christmas is coming up, New Year's. Got that boss
Dainty.
here.
It's
Dainty Butterflies. 8.com.
What are you selling?
Clothes. Women's clothing. Affordable clothing.
Oh, affordable clothing. Okay.
But nice clothes. You'll
Can
be
we pull
lit.
it up? Can we
You'll
look
be
it
lit.
up? Can we-
Yeah, we could.
Let's pull up something and see
Let
what
me
you're
see.
working with because you should definitely have that so we can get a picture.
I should have gave it to it is. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So I won't be here next week. Amber's graduating. I'll be at my daughter's graduation.
Congratulations. Oh, my God.
That's my baby. I'm so proud of her. So proud of her. She's getting her bachelor's degree in criminal justice. And she's going to take off a semester and then go back for her master's. So I was like, yeah, we need a lawyer in the family.
Oh, absolutely.
We do.
Definitely.
She's all about her business. Yeah, that's Lil' Kim.
That's Amber have her own voice, okay?
Right. She does. But yeah, that's
she has her own voice, so that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Totally. So you're going to go to Texas.
Right, I'll be in Texas.
Okay.
I know you're going to miss me.
I am. Go to Quarry's for dinner.
No, I did. Last time we were there, girl.
Okay. Was it good?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That was awesome. When we went to Texas, we had dinner there.
And they have
it was really
Furs
nice.
in El Paso. So I'm going to go to Furs.
Okay.
Remember when Furs was out here?
Yes. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So Amber doing her thing. Walking the stage. Oh, I'm so proud of her.
My baby.
Oh, my God. Is she going to come home after graduation?
She is, and then she's going back. I was like, oh.
She thinks she's going back? That's
Yeah.
okay, though.
No, that's good.
'Cause that's her
Good.
life. You know
That's
what I
her
mean?
life.
And she has to make that choice. And it's hard.
She let me know right off the bat. I was like, oh, okay, I'll be visiting you. I will definitely be visiting you.
So is she coming? She's not coming home for Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay,
She graduates next week.
Okay, then she'll come home for
Of
Christmas.
course.
And then she's
gonna,
well, I don't
yeah.
know. She might have a...
No, I know. But
my niece, she went away to college and we barely see her. Picked up a little boo and now she's like, I'm living in Atlanta or I'm living in... I'm like, okay. Life just simply changes.
Yes.
It just simply
better.
changes. It does. Well,
So
it's
proud
been
of
such
her.
a pleasure.
That's 3 and 3 more to go.
You have 3 more to go?
3 more to go. O'Shea, she's getting back, she'll get hers too.
Okay, so we got O'Shea, we got Chase.
And then Aiden.
Okay, well, we know Chase is a no-brainer.
Right.
We just gonna have to walk Aiden through life.
No, he gonna walk
his own rules. He makes his own rules.
Right.
He makes his own rules. Well, it's been a pleasure, and the time is flying.
Wow.
And Sheena, it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much for being our guest.
And
Thank you.
totally. I know as a mom, your feelings run deep. And there's no disrespect to you as a mother or as anything, no type of disrespect, just my own thoughts, that's all. Okay. All right.
Love you, Sheena.
Okay. Sounds good. So we're checking out.
As always, have a great weekend.
Oh my God,
I know I will.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
I'm going to say that over the air, safe travels.
Thank you.